Anyway, one of these tactics that is used so often and so very well is the division of red versus blue.
Are you talking about the great comedic web series modeled after the epic first-person shooter science fiction game?
Wow. Just wow. That is a very good memory, Random Voice of Questions, and that is actually a really good series. I thought it was, if you like that game. But no, I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the 3D style of anaglyph glasses, the images, where you need to use those glasses with a red filter over one eye and a blue filter over the other eye. And, I think I have one. Give me one sec. Yeah, these things, anaglyph glasses, they were so cool. And I can't really see anything on my screen right now. But, man, these glasses, this is what I'm talking about right here. And so with the blue filter and a red filter, right?
The true color is cyan, and it is a mixture of blue and some green.
Yes, that is true, Random Voice of Reason. It is cyan. However, it looks blue to me, and in Man Logic, there are only 3 colors. And I'm probably going to get hate mail for that too, for saying Man Logic. Anyway, I'd say there are only 3 colors, red, yellow, and blue, possibly 3 others, with orange, green, and purple. Oh yeah, I guess I can't forget those major 2 colors that are often used as another division tactic by the enemy, that of black and white.
Yep. Have you noticed that it almost always seems that them folk that look for the color most and that talk most about them color divisions are the same folk who say them colorblind and don't look for them color divisions?
That is, it's very interesting, Random Voice of Common Sense. Anyway, the cyan color looks blue, and for the purposes of, the glasses in this episode, and it's almost always been called blue, we're calling it blue. So, red versus blue. Anyway, if these glasses may seem primitive now that we have, like the real 3D, and this real 3D is really awesome to watch in the theaters. And, come to think of it, even this real 3D is going to seem primitive one day. Anyway, but with these red and blue glasses, our perception of the image we are viewing is altered based on these colors. And man, I used to love these things. They were so awesome. And in fact, I think they are still cool. But I remember one time where my family and I, my dad, mom, brother, and I, we sat down to watch this 3D John Wayne movie with cowboys and Indians. And man, it was cool. This was in the 80s, mind you. So, this type of technology was still really, really amazing then. And like I said, heck, I liked it in the 90s and I still like it today. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Well, my brother and I, we sat down in our beanbag chairs. Yes, beanbag chairs. Do you remember those things? They're comfortable for kids, but a pain in the butt to clean for adults when they get torn. Well, as we watched this movie with our anaglyph glasses on, the glasses changed our perspective of what we were watching. And instead of a regular 2D image, we actually saw depth. And we saw life and the scenes as close as we could to how they were in reality when they were filmed, at least at that time. And so, the shadows and curves and spatial distances between items and people on the screen, it was these and the other details, the other context of the whole scene. That's all. It was all that made this once flat and superficial image now come to life. Because without these glasses, the items and scenes and the film itself, the characters in the film that we were watching, they were perceived as shallow and lifeless. But with the glasses, we saw the full context through the perspective of those glasses, and they came to life. I mean, Yeah, we had seen this movie before, and it's still a really good movie, really entertaining. But with these glasses on, being able to change our perspective to view through both eyes, through both colors, both sides. I still remember the arrows just like flying at us out of the screens, like this. And my brother and I were dodging in our beanbag chairs because it was just awesome. It felt like lifelike. It was 3D. It felt real. It actually had depth. And so I just wonder, how many of us look at strangers? How many of us look at friends? How many of us look at family with anger, hate, and intolerance, and often try to fight them? And usually when we fight them, it's usually on social media, where we can keep our distance and be quarantined from them and not have to see them face to face. And, it's a place we consider anonymous. It's our safe zone. And so we usually try to fight them by treating them as unequal and inferior to our superiority as dictated to us by the enemy and accepted by the perception granted to us by the blinder patch. By, closing one eye or the other.
Not all those who are blinded from one color want or accept all that color they are open to vigorously fights for, even though the ultimate end goals of each color might very well be different.
That's actually a really good point there, Random Voice of Reason. And this actually makes me think of a joke, and I've heard it two ways. And, I'm just going to say it here. What do you get when you offer a blue liberal a penny for his thoughts? Change. Oh, it's a good one. And what do you get when you offer a red conservative a penny for his thoughts? Change. See, it's still good. It's still good.
Didn't you just reuse the joke and change the names?
Yeah. Yes, I did, Random Voice of Questions. Good catch. Good catch there. But if you close one eye, it is spot on hilarious. And I tell you, if you close the other eye, it is still spot on hilarious. So,
You don't have to close one eye to see that they have been divided, yet they are equal.
You don't say, Random Voice of Reason. Let me just tell you all that I have friends who, if viewed through the perception of color division, are pure blue. They have full-heartedly follow, and they have blind allegiance in the overlord of whom they are the rightful rulers of, and they truly, truly believe that this perception of color grants them the right to fight, hate, silence, oppress, cancel, be intolerant of, and treat their fellow neighbor as an unequal, as someone inferior to their superiority, because they truly believe that by doing so, they can then usher in a society of tolerant, peaceful, loving people and a land of prosperity and freedom. And I tell you, I also have some friends who, in the same view, are pure blue, but do not full-heartedly follow or have a blind allegiance in the same, and who do not believe that fighting, hating, oppressing, silencing, canceling, or being intolerant to, or, having views of superiority will usher in a society of tolerant, peaceful, loving people or a land of prosperity and freedom. And I tell you, on the flip side of that, though, I have friends who, if viewed in the perception of color division, are red, and we call them Indians. I'm just kidding. Okay, it's Native Americans. I'm just kidding there, too. It's just a joke. But anyway, on the flip side, I have friends who, if viewed in the perception of color division, are pure red, like I said, and they full-heartedly follow and have a blind allegiance in the overlord of whom they are the rightful ruler of, and they truly, truly, truly do believe that this perception of color grants them the right to fight, hate, silence, oppress, cancel, be intolerant to, and treat their fellow neighbor as an unequal, as someone inferior to their superiority. Because by doing so, you guessed it, they can then usher in a society of peaceful, loving, tolerant people in a land of prosperity and freedom. I also have some friends who in this very same view are pure red, but do not full-heartedly follow or have a blind allegiance in the same, and who do not believe in fighting, hating, oppressing, silencing, canceling, being intolerant to, or, having views of superiority will usher in a society of tolerant, peaceful, loving people or a land of prosperity and freedom. Sounds like I have a lot of friends, don't I? But no, not close friends. But anyway. Then again, I have friends who are neither blue nor red, and often these are the friends that tend to view the world the way my family and I watched that John Wayne movie, with both eyes and through the perception of both colors. And in doing so, just like us watching the movie, viewed the context of the whole scene. They saw depth. They saw life. Then again, I have friends who are neither blue nor red and still fight and hate and blah, 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 the same list and blah, 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 blah. Those who view more in one color or the other. It's almost like we should judge people based on the content of their character and not their color. Could have swore I've heard that before. Oh well. Sometimes the two colors are diametrically opposed, though, in their vision of the end goal. But I think that most times this is just a division tactic by the true enemy to keep us fighting each other. Because, as the saying goes, united we stand, divided we fall.